Okay, so I also realized between the takes that I missed part of the question. It says how long does it take to land, and also how far away from the bottom it is, right? So how far away from the bottom it's asking for Sx, right? So how far from the bottom of the cliff is it when it lands? So when it lands over here, how far is it from the bottom of the cliff? Right, that's what happens when the screen is really far away from you. All right, let's sort of massage that back in. I'll call that A part 2, which is asking Sx question mark, all right, or Sx of the landing point. Okay, all right, so we can continue down here. So A part 2, I'll call that. Let's just massage that right back in. Okay. So what I have found is I have 5.2 over here. In fact, I can update my table, right? So I can update it over here and say I have 5. Just gonna cross that out first. 5. Another tip is, enlarge this a little bit. Another tip is don't use the rounded number over here in the bottom. Use the original one, because you want to, during the steps, you want to be as accurate as possible. And then you want to do the rounding at the end. Okay, so 5.1, what did I have? 168. And remember, the time is going to be the same on both sides. Okay, like that. All right, so my goal is to find Sx when it lands. So I probably want this column. Do I have 3 pieces of information? I did not before, but now I have, right? So I can use this, this, and this to solve. And I want an equation again with no v. So it's the same equation, but it's a different variable. All right, so we can go about here. So first, it's going to be really repetitive, as you can see, but that's a good thing for you, right? Because now, once you know how to do it, it's just a matter of doing it. Acceleration is 0. Okay, so you can immediately put that away. And Sx is ux, which I think was 12. Was it sine or cosine? It's cosine. 30 degrees times the time, which is 5.168. Okay, and you notice this becomes just the speed is the displacement over time. And of course that is because there's no acceleration. So you can kind of also do away without using the full kinematics equation and just reason that you can calculate the displacement directly without using this formula. But if you want to just be mechanical and use it, that's also fine. Right? Right, let's erase this part. Yeah, and then it's calculated time. Cosine 30 is square root of 3 over 2. So either way, you can pull out a calculator and go like 12. Yeah, I'll do, you know what, I'll do 6 times square root of 3 times 5.168, right? And I have 53.71, or let's do 707, right? And then, so that's the math part. And the physics part is to actually answer the question and say, it is 53, there's only one answer and it's positive. Does it make sense? It's a positive displacement. It makes sense because that's my positive x direction. So if it goes this way, it's positive, right? So it is 53.7. How many significant figures? We just want 2, all right? So 54 meters, if you want. It is about 54 meters from the bottom of cliff, all right? So that works. Okay. Yeah, and let's go ahead and calculate the landing velocity and the speed in the next section.